These are my first business cards. Printed on cardstock from a toner printer, they did the job. Until I discovered PCB rulers. Oh, I knew exactly what I had to design. This is my first true business card. Made on FR4, 0.8mm thickness, electroless nickel gold plating, these cards blew away my expectations. I wanted my business cards to be just like the rulers. Useful, yet beneficial. My goal is to have them serve as a bridge between the physical and digital space and put a tangible size to the components commonly used in EDA software, like KiCad and Eagle. I went ahead and added as many commonplace footprints as I could fit, along with some more traditional packages, such as the can and dip packages. On the left side, there is a pin pitch scale for those oh-so-tiny flat flex connectors, and common trace widths. I designed in 3 custom rulers as well. The 10th ruler is for in-between size components that measure, say, 0.2 inches by 0.3 inches. The metric and standard rulers have subdivisions for 0.5 millimeter and 32nd of an inch. One thing I just can't get over is that I can place my business card down, line it up to a ruler, and it's a spot-on match. It's amazing what we can do these days with fiberglass and copper. The interesting thing about designing PCB business cards is sure, you can use them to network, but you can also use them to test out different PCB vendors. Because there are so many tiny, intricate designs, I use them like reference cards to measure solder mask pullback tolerances, silkscreen consistency, and accuracy of copper pads versus pullback. These cards were a joy to use at conferences and events. As I came across more and more business card designs, especially those nifty NFC-based cards, I knew I was in for a redesign. This is my latest and greatest business card. It implements QR, NFC, the same 3 rulers, but a whole lot more packages, all while maintaining a legible silkscreen. I also added in even smaller packages, such as the 0.4mm pitch DSBGA footprints, as well as more footprint variations. It's powered by a tiny NXP NFC chip, with power harvesting capabilities. The small TSSOP 8 package is still big enough to hand solder, which is a major plus. This chip handles all the NFC handshakes and can harvest enough power from a phone to power the chip, transmit a web address, and blink an LED. Crazy. You may have noticed a change in style with this card. That curved contrasty bit is a copper pore keep-out region around the NFC coil. In order to preserve the permittivity of that portion of the card, the internal copper layers had to be pulled back to reduce interference between the coil and the neighboring copper structures. This ensures a magnetic flux between the coil in the phone and a coil in the business card. Of course, there are still a bunch of smaller copper pads on the back, partially mitigating this design practice. Because this business card will be handed out with or without components soldered in place, leaving almost 1/3 of a card side blank was not an option. I chose a happy middle ground where a small amount of components were placed over the backside of the coil. It's not ideal, but all this card has to do is transmit a website and make an LED blink. An imperfect antenna should work just fine. Here's the business card in action. Works like a charm. I designed this in KiCad 5.0. My design files are free to download. If you haven't checked out KiCad, now's the time. You'll also find the link to my full website write-up and GitHub below. One of the challenges faced with this design was underestimating the amount of light fall-off from 2 layers of solder mask. I originally implemented a 400 millicandela reverse mount LED to illuminate my logo on the top side. This was a far cry from the light output actually needed. I soldered in a high-powered LED and a tiny ML421 lithium-ion battery as a quick fix. A redesign of the coil closer to 2.75 microhenries or 2.35 microhenries, as well as a reshuffling of components on the backside of the coil, should improve coil performance and allow for greater harvesting capabilities of the NFC chip. I may remove a layer of solder mask underneath the LED to improve performance as well. Thanks again for watching. Thumbs up if you guys want to see me optimize this business card with a vector network analyzer.